Hey there, before we get started, I just want to do a shameless plug for our Facebook group, Life and Love After Death. So if you're not in that group, why aren't you? Just go over to Facebook, request to join, and we'll let you in. All right. Um, and now let's just get going with what we're here to talk about. So we're going to talk about evidential mediumship, um, specifically why we say that the highest form of evidential mediumship is not the conveyance of information. That is not a put down of evidential mediumship. Okay, I want to make that clear because I always get people telling me I'm bashing mediums, and that is not ever our intention. That said, Ellen and I are here to tell the truth because we've been in this field for 35 plus years now. Him as a medium, myself more as a channel. There's a fine line between the two. He was, let's just say, always being tapped on the shoulder by the spirit world to come through to people. And that didn't happen to me, right? Instead, what happened to me and still happens to me is I hear people's guides and their angels, and they tap me on the shoulder and say, I want you to tell person this, right? So I don't really get that kind of contact from deceased people. A little bit more with Alan now because, of course, he's more blended with me in our work. But even then, it's my agreement with my team, because this is what they told me, that I'm not here to do mediumship because they said they know me. If I go into something, I'm going to be the best at it because otherwise, what's the point? I don't see the point of doing something half-assed. I would do it and do it to the best of my ability. And they said, but I'm not here to be a medium. I'm here to teach you how to be your own medium for your loved ones on the other side. And so they said if I were to do mediumship readings, that would actually take me away from that. And I would do it so well that people just want to come to me for readings. And I can't do that. It would be so much easier if I did. I would probably charge a lot more money, but that's not what my purpose is. That's not part of our mission. So I'm here to activate your natural mediumship and psychic abilities because you have them because you're a soul. That's just no way around it. You're a soul, you're completely psychic. It's just a question of do you believe it? Are you accepting that truth? And if you are, then that will unfold for you. If you don't believe it, or that's not something you came to explore, then it won't. It's as simple as that. So with Alan being a medium, right, he had a lot of, believe it or not, skepticism about mediumship. He was trained in mediumship in the UK by a prominent medium who has long since retired. And she used to do readings for the royal staff, I think, not the royal family, but I guess the royal staff that she was known for there. And so she trained Alan. She kind of took him under her wing, so to speak, and they became partners in that sense. They would travel the world and do readings together. So he got into mediumship that way. He was a natural born medium. Spirit was always, again, interacting with him from when he was a child. That's another sign of somebody who's had that kind of contact. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have any spirits like tapping on my shoulder, trying to get my attention. He did, and it freaked him out. When he got more into mediumship at a later age, he was in his late 40s, early 50s, and really explored it, he began to realize that one could actually talk to the deceased, yes, through mediumship, absolutely, communicate, but you could also just read them, much in the same way that a psychic, if you go to them, can read your friend, right? If you're asking them about your friend or maybe about your partner or whoever or your boss, and said, well, this is the person, this is our relationship. Well, the psychic can give you a lot of detail about that person. Now, they shouldn't do what I call psychic spying, right? Like giving you too much information about them, only what's relevant to your question. But I have since come to understand that there are no real secrets in the universe. I I don't want to freak anybody out, but that's just how it is. That in truth, everything can be known about somebody, and I'm not saying all psychics can do this because again, it's going to depend on their belief system and whether that's what they are here to do. But let's just say the potential is there, right, for some of them to be able to truly give you all the detail about your loved one, including how they passed. I mean, everything. I do know that because I've taken other psychic classes from people very, I don't want to say, yeah, famous, but not in this country famous, who do have done that, right? That they can tell you everything about somebody. So this is why Alan was always a bit concerned, and that question was on his mind then his entire time. From when he started doing readings till when he left this world, like, how do we know the medium's really talking to the dead? How do we know that they're really talking to them and not just reading them and getting the information that way? Okay. So this is a real concern. You'd have to trust the medium implicitly. You'd have to know that they're not doing that. First of all, he's just saying to me, the medium themselves have to know that that's what can happen, because he says some of them fall into that and don't even realize that's what they're doing, that they're reading the deceased. They're not really talking to them. He says, believe it or not, they are all at different levels of training and awareness. So they may believe they're talking to your loved one, but really they're just getting information some other way. So here's the other challenging part. I There's a medium that I follow on YouTube who I really respect. I really like this person. But they were saying that, hey, if I am reading someone and the loved one isn't coming through, I may just start reading the deceased, hoping that they'll start talking to me. Now, this person, the medium, never said, well, what would they do if the loved one didn't start talking to them? Because they're already reading them, right? Giving the client information about their loved one and telling them this, and this, acting as if they're actually talking to their loved one. That medium never answered, never said what they would do. They were just left that, in my mind, question hanging, right? They never addressed it. And that's when Alan says, see, he said, and that medium, he says, is legit, definitely is a medium, definitely can talk to the loved one, but in some cases, the loved one doesn't want to talk back. And this medium even said that, but the medium is teaching, okay, on YouTube. Like, well, that's what you can do, is just start reading the deceased and see if they'll start talking. But don't you go doing that and then you need to tell the client, oh yeah, well, I was just reading their energy. I'm not really talking to them. If they don't start talking to you, this is a problem. And I've only heard so far one medium actually admit that, saying that, yeah, I can read the deceased as accurately with all the information as if talking to them. And this medium even confessed, they said, yeah, talking to them can be more challenging because they don't always want to communicate or don't want to give the evidence. Here we're talking about evidential mediumship. They don't want to give the evidence that the client wants. Like, where did you bury the money, Grandpa? The spirit might go, I don't want to answer that question. So this medium said, yes, it can be challenging because the other side doesn't always want to share the details that the client wants to have as evidence. or maybe answer that question of where'd you bury the money? So, can you see that there's a lot of pressure on mediums to deliver the goods, especially when you've got mediums on what is it on on Prime? Like, is it Tyler Henry, who's just reading, making it look so easy, just reading the spirits? Okay, that's what they're up against. Okay, that really is, and I feel for them, I really do, and I do know that if some of them are legit trained and good at it, it is a struggle because, and Alan says, he says it's so easy to dip into reading them and then getting the information that the client wants, but then you cross the line and you're not really talking to them. Now, to us, the main reason this is a problem, okay, comes down to this, because some of the mediums are telling you something that they believe your loved one is saying, but they're not really talking to them, right? Some of them. And so what they're telling you could be an outright lie because it's just based on what they've been taught or what they believe about spirits. For example, it's very, very common for a lot of mediums to tell their clients that their loved one will bring them someone new if it's a partner or spouse, right? They're going to bring them someone new. And that may not be the case at all. In fact, my feeling from what Elna's told me and the spirit world has told me is rarely are they really want to say that to you because they know that that would devastate you if you're a partner or spouse. Why would they want to hurt you? Even if they were going to do that for you, just pretend. I'm not saying they would, but let's pretend that they would. Or let's pretend that's part of your soul plan, that you are meant to meet someone new. Timing is everything, folks. Why would they deliver that to you at your most vulnerable time when you're just grief stricken? Some of you even questioning, are they still here? Do they love me? Have they moved on? They would never do that to you because there's no need to do that to you. There's no need. If that's going to happen, if that's part of your soul plan, then it's going to happen. If that's your destiny, destiny is going to deliver it to you, meaning your destiny, meaning you set it up. Then it's going to happen. You could choose to change your mind. When that person comes into your life, you could say, you know what, I don't want to do this now. I think I want to continue my relationship through the veil, or maybe you do want to have the relationship. It's your choice, right? But my point is, your loved one in spirit, they don't need to tell you this. They know it's not going to make you feel better. It's only going to make you feel worse. For some people, I know because I've talked to many of them, they feel doubly abandoned. Their grief is intensified. They feel like, well, I don't think they ever really loved me then. If they're so easy for them to just send somebody new to me, so why would they say that to you? Okay, so that's one red flag to notice. If a medium tells you that, I would ask for my money back if it were me. I go like, you're not really talking to my husband or my partner or my spouse or whoever. They would never say that to me. Their spirit's saying to be about 90% of the time they wouldn't say that. There's no need to say that to you at all. They could say instead, I know you'll be happy again one day, without going into what that is. They're going to tell you what will make you feel better. Okay. They don't have to blurt out, yes, you're going to meet somebody new, when they know that that's only going to hurt you. Okay. So this is why we say it is a challenge here when you've got mediums who are not really talking to your loved one, but they're just reading them and then they're inserting something that is really just their opinion or what they were taught. Okay. Similar statements some of them make is, Well, you're holding them back, that you have to let them go. Okay, that's another red flag. They don't understand that your loved one can transition and come back. Okay, this is something that only some mediums understand. Okay, not all of them, unless they've gone through it themselves. How would they even know that? It's something that's now beginning to get attention, not just because we're talking about it, other people are talking about it. But if you have a medium tell you that, oh, your loved one is saying you're holding them back, oh, come on. I'm sorry. You cannot hold the soul back from anything. They can transition, come back, they're limitless. Now you have to raise your vibration if you want to connect. And this is where we're leaning into the subject of why we believe you can get the highest form of evidential mediumship, which is more going to be in the form of emotional and even physical contact. Okay. And I want to make the case for why that is infinitely superior over a medium giving you all these specific details, which again, you will never be sure 100% unless you completely trust the medium. Okay. And you know them and trust them. Okay. That they're not reading your loved one, because some of them don't even know they're doing that. Some of them do know they do or aware they're doing that, but they're not necessarily going to confess to you, because then they basically should refund your money, because that's not a mediumship reading. So you, only you, can get the highest form of evidential mediumship, which is feeling their love. Okay, feeling their love come over you, wash over you, not just me once when you connect with them, but in time, over and over, till it gets to where it is, where I experience and several of our students experience, where you're feeling that like all the time, all the time. And why that's important is because we are here in the physical world to have physical experiences, right? Not sit here, just absorb information. I have this little note I wrote to myself that I'm just as I got to show it to you. Okay, see what it says, right? Spiritual growth is experiential, not informational. Although there can some information is required. I get it. Okay, but you're here to have an experience. Only when you experience love from the other side will you be healed and transformed. Not by just hearing things like, oh yeah, that's what they used to say. Okay, that's evidence. Like that's their name, their middle name, or that's the street they lived on. Okay, you could say, all right, I get that you're talking to my loved one, you're getting information from my loved one, but that's not going to open your heart. That's not going to heal your grief. That's not going to raise your vibration. Whereas if you connect with them energetically, emotionally, okay, feel their presence. You're stretching your psychic senses. You're engaging with them to the best of your ability, okay? That changes you. It does. Because it stretches you. You start to feel like, okay, I think that's you, even if you're not sure. I feel that's you. Wow, I feel your presence. Wow, I feel this love. I feel that. You can't make that up, people. Whereas the data can be gleaned elsewhere by the medium. Most of them are doing this, but they can. They can get it off of social media. You'd be shocked. I know, because I was talking to a good friend of mine who's a well-known medium, and somebody he knows, highly respects, who's a very famous medium, admitted to my friend that, yeah, he cheats regularly because standards are set so high for him to deliver that he felt he needed to. It's that way. That's just how with live streaming and Prime and Netflix or whatever, right? Again, the pressure is intense. And so my friend was just devastated because he really respected this person. And they admitted that, yeah, they had people that did research and they cheated like routinely and been going on for years. So you don't know for sure. But really, that aside, to be honest with you, for you and me, it doesn't matter anyway, because we want the connection, because we want to continue our relationships. We want to evolve and grow. And we won't do that if we keep going to mediums who are just going to deliver information. This is another reason why Spirit said you're not here to be a medium. You're here to more activate people's connection, to awaken them spiritually, which is what we do in our work with people, whether it's one-on-one or in our classes, or right now even. Some of you, Spirit saying, right now, some of you are feeling things because I am a guide for people both in a body and on the other side. I've had that told to me quite often. And your guides, your loved one, they're coming forward, they're coming through because Alan is facilitating that. So I've heard from a lot of people saying, like, yeah, when I watch your YouTube videos or in your academy, because maybe some of them are in our academy, they go, I feel my loved one. I feel contact is happening. Okay, it's not going to happen for everybody because it depends on the theme you've chosen to explore in your life. Depends on your belief system. There's a lot of reasons why some people will and some people won't. It's all perfect. Okay. But you can have that direct experience. And that is your evidence that nobody can give to you or take away because you know what you're feeling. When Alan passed over, immediately began just flooding me with love. I was not expecting that. I knew I wasn't creating that because I didn't even know any spirit could do that. I was like, what the hell's this? What is this love in between my crying, and then I feel this love, come in? Because you said when you cry, you release the grief, you make space for the love to come in. So he encouraged me to cry, encouraged me to grieve. But then as soon as I would pause in the grieving, I would feel this love rush in, like the tide coming in, right? I knew I wasn't making that up. I couldn't make it up. There were times when I tried to make it up and then failed miserably. And he said, see, you can't make it up. He goes, I'm either giving that to you or I'm not. And now, because of us connecting like constantly for now 4 years, like I feel his love all the time. There's not a moment when I don't feel this immense love, this presence, and it has healed me. It guides me, it lifts me up, even when I have moments when I have a human moment of feeling down or worried I don't stay down very long anymore because that love just lifts me up again. It's like it's almost really hard for me to stay down anymore because I've been in a way just basking and marinating and soaking in this love for 4 years now that it's really kind of hard at this point for me to go negative. I'll feel a little dip down and then I just like kind of bob back up again. Okay. You can experience that too. Absolutely. Okay, but it's through you opening up to the other side, trusting what you experience. And if you need to get a mediumship reading, by all means, go and do that. Okay, but please watch out your expectations on that, right? Be careful. If the medium says something that doesn't resonate with you, trust your higher self. It's telling you, that's not the true truth, right? Go into the session, go into the reading with that in mind. Like, I will know if something is true by how it feels to me. Does it resonate with me? You can tell by just having that intention set. Okay. Mediums, unfortunately, can do way more damage. Um, and and some of them are doing it unconsciously. I don't think anyone's really doing it deliberately. Okay. But think of it this way, like, if somebody runs over your foot with a car, does it matter if they did it intentionally or accidentally? Not really. You still have a broken foot, probably. It's just that it's easier to take if you know the person did it accidentally than if they did it on purpose to hurt you, right? But you still you still are damaged. That's the challenge. Okay. There's way too many inept, inexperienced, ill-trained mediums. So we're just warning you. My best friends are mediums. Our soul daughter, Maria, who I've written about in our book, okay, phenomenal medium. Absolutely can talk to spirit, okay, to the other side. Not hard at all. I'm just telling you, it's not really hard for you either. Not during this time of ascension. Alan's almost saying, he's just said to me, no excuses, guys. If you can't tune in, it's because you have a belief that's limiting you. That's it. Because you were born psychic because you're a soul. That is just who you are. So if you're not able to, quote, pick up, you've got some limiting belief, and you just got to tweak that. You just got to eliminate that. Just got to start trusting and believing and clearing out your false definitions of what the afterlife is, because a lot of you have these confused ideas about the afterlife or what that is. And when you get that all sorted out, it is natural. Okay, it is just natural part of being human because you're a spirit and the larger part of you remains in the spirit world. So of course that means you can do mediumship because you're a spirit, for crying out loud. You're a spirit who just believes, some of you just believe that you're only a physical person. But once you realize, wait a minute, yeah, I'm a spirit being who happens to also have a body in this life, then you open the door to your higher awareness. And your higher self is 100% psychic, fully psychic. Okay. So you can get the true evidence of the afterlife by interacting with your loved one across the veil. Of course, you don't necessarily want to open up to just any spirit on the other side. Why would you want to do that, right? Because not that there's anything to fear, because there isn't. You have more to fear from the living than the dead. I promise you that, right? But there's so much misconceptions about spirits. And here's the other thing. The reason why many people, hopefully not you, but why many people feel fear when they start sensing spirit like around them, I want you to understand the reason. Okay. Some of it, yeah, is because of the media, right? Movies, scary movies and all that. Some of it is that. But there's a very real reason why people initially just feel this fear come up. Okay. The fear is coming from their physical mind, because your physical mind is experiencing this reality. It just is. So whatever you're encountering, your physical mind's kind of reacting to it, right? And especially based on your beliefs. So when your physical mind experiences some sort of spirit contact that's unusual, right? It's a high frequency when a spirit is engaging with you, whether that's your loved one, whether that's a guide or some other being in spirit form. Your physical mind freaks out because that high frequency, it does recognize it. it recognizes it because that's the frequency you experience when you start to transition. As part of the quote death process is you start rising up and you feeling the higher frequency. Okay. So, and that's what people go through when they have near death experiences. They start feeling this higher frequency. But now, when somebody's having an NDE like that, the physical mind's not engaged because they're maybe in trauma, they're on the operating table, or they got hit by a car, whatever, and they're now pop out of their body, right? So the physical mind's not going to kick in necessarily, at least not all the way as it might when you're conscious and you start having some sort of experience, and your physical mind would start flooding you a bit with fear because it's going, oh, she's dying, she's dying. And you react that way, like, oh, like that's scary. Okay. Because it's interpreting that high frequency as part of the death process when really it's just their high vibration. So when you get used to that, and you will if you start practicing it, your physical mind will start to calm down and go, oh, it's okay. It's just a higher energy. It's not death. She's not dying. Okay, but can you see where if somebody's trying to go out of body to experience the afterlife and to contact their loved ones, because you can when you go out of body, and the body goes into sleep paralysis again, the physical mind goes, oh, starts to freak out if it kind of becomes aware and notices that the body is starting to shut down, because it does when you go into sleep paralysis. You're not dying, but the physical mind that's connected to the body can start to freak out because it says, oh God, I'm dying. So you have to process your fear of death. You have to let go of that. You have to, in a sense, be unafraid of dying. You're not going to die until it's really your time. But if you're feeling like I'm afraid of death, I'm afraid of death, I'm afraid of death, anything that even remotely reminds you of the death process, which is that high frequency, you're going to freak out. Okay. So you can override the fear, and understand that that high frequency, that is a sign that you're lifting your vibration closer to your loved one who's in spirit, who has a higher vibration. And as you rise up to that fourth density level, which is the threshold to the fifth density, fifth dimension of the spirit world, then you can have more contact. When you're living in fourth density, which is absolutely achievable for you, once you clear your limiting beliefs and you focus more on a positive way in your life, and most importantly, you're following your joy, you're following your passion, following your excitement to the best of your ability, as we teach in the academy. When you do that, your vibration automatically rises. Okay, the more you keep it up by following your excitement, which is following your guidance, and you stay in that positive state. And I'm not saying you have to be there 100% of the time. I'm just saying that you're there more than you're not. Then the more you do that, you're staying more in that fourth density level. Okay, and then that means communication is easier. That means you can have profound experiences through the veil. Okay, that means you can live in a heaven on earth. That fourth density is heaven on earth, basically, because you can engage with spirits. You can encounter, for sure, extraterrestrial beings because they're high frequency. They're fourth dense. They can be contacted when you're in fourth density. And the reason that matters is because we are going to have extraterrestrial contact. It's already happening on the planet. It's more like we're going to know about it now. It's going to be more accepted now. But this is all coming. It cannot be stopped. This is the evolution of humankind. Okay, so when you rise up to fourth density, when you allow yourself to have those experiences, then yes, your life can be full of magic and miracles. You're meant to live that way. You are. That's not supposed to be the exception. That's supposed to be the rule. The only way it isn't the rule is when you are thinking limiting negative beliefs that lower your frequency, that keep you down in third density, which means, it's just more challenging for a loved one to reach you because they have to lower their vibration. We have to raise our vibration. You got to do your part, raise up to meet them halfway, and then they can lower down. They can't come all the way down here. Not really. And certainly not for long. They could momentarily come down to third density and maybe even materialize, but they can't stay here. And I'm not saying that they can stay materialized in fourth density, but they just say you can have more profound contact, and certainly they could maybe manifest more in that sense, if that's what's appropriate, if that was agreed upon in your soul agreement, right? But don't get focused on that. Don't start to insist on that or expect on that. If you just get happy with your life, you rise up to fourth density automatically. If you stay in a state of love, of positivity, that's fourth density. So do you see where everything that you truly desire is about being in that feeling state of love, gratitude, appreciation? Okay. And sure, you'll have your moments because you're in 3D where you go, oh, I don't like that, or you're angry about something, but don't stay stuck in that anger. Don't stay stuck in that fear for long. Just use it as a catalyst and go, oh, I don't want to be here. I want to be in the state of love, unconditional love and gratitude. Thank you for reminding me of the contrast that I don't prefer. I'm going back to that state of love, right? Because when you're in that state of love, that's what the universe is going to give you more of. That's the law of creation, or one of the laws of creation. What you put out is what you get back. Okay? So open up to that. Understand the physics of that. Okay. Evidential mediumship that is just about information is limited in our experience if what you are seeking is direct contact. If all you want is somebody else to be the translator for you, be the intermediary for you, which only helps them develop their connection to the other side, does nothing for you, really does nothing for you. They're just giving you information. And don't get me wrong, that can be the best place to start if you've never had a mediumship reading or you don't believe in the afterlife. You need somebody else to give you some evidence. But at this point, I'm beginning to meet people that never had a mediumship reading for many reasons, and then just had direct experience and said, well, I don't really need a medium to tell me what I'm already experiencing. Like, and they're better off for it. That may or may not be your path. It's okay. You will absolutely be fine if you go forward and get a good mediumship reading. It's just challenging to find one at this point, but you'd be just as in good stead if you don't. Okay. Because you don't really need that. If you believe you need it, then you will need it. Okay. If you believe instead that you can do this on your own, guess what? You're going to get there faster doing it on your own, because they can give you evidence of their presence through transmitting their love, through synchronicities they set up for you. Some of them are getting really good at moving things. Like, oh my God, the stories that Maria tells me on her birthday, she knows it was her grandfather. She she had her iPod in a case, literally moved from one room to the other room and then to another room, and it was becoming like a hilarious joke in the family that grandpa kept moving things around, and her daughter, who's very psychic, was saying, "Oh yeah, I saw it in the kitchen, and now it's in this other room, and now it's over," because they can do that. Okay, her grandpa is really a character. Could move things around. She even had an occasion where just recently, where she had her set of keys for her car that she had driven her daughter and her husband somewhere, and had given him her keys to go get something in the car. He came back, gave her the keys, and she goes, "Wait a minute, this is your set of keys." He goes, "So that's the keys you gave me." He goes, "No way, this I had my set of keys." And her daughter, Danny, even said, "Yeah, Mom, I saw the keys. It was your set, not his." So, see, they can do stuff like that. Absolutely can do stuff like that. So, good luck. That's evidence of the afterlife, okay? Direct evidence. And I guess I should put up a warning label. Like, if you go down this road, you could be open to all kinds of mischief and magic and miracles that are happening in your house, like she's had, where things just move, and she'll even say, "Hey, bring that back," and then it appears back where it was supposed to be. Okay, that can happen all day, every day. Okay, that things just like move around, and then you tell them bring it back. And I've had to go up to the other side and say, "Quiet down, you're talking too loud, you're keeping Maria awake," because she would told me one time. And she goes, she didn't even know I did that. She goes, "Oh my God, it got quiet all of a sudden." Yeah, I said, "Because I had words with them." I said, "You guys got to cut it out up there having a party, like you're keeping her up." And she immediately heard that silence. They're here. They're not anywhere. They're right here, just in another frequency, in another dimension, but they exist right here. Everything is right here, right now. That's it. And mediums don't even all know that. Okay. All right. So we have some time here. We want to do some readings for people that are in our live chat. So if anybody wants a reading, you need to give us your date of birth. You need to state clearly, specifically what your question is, not just say, "I'd like a reading." We don't work that way. At least I don't work that way, because, especially because I can't talk to you like, right, like on camera or on audio. I'm just looking at the comments. So I haven't been watching the live chat. So if anybody wants to drop in their date of birth and their question right now, I will take that and we will give them a reading. Question, CE, not just your date of birth, specific question, what you need to know. We're going to go with Lori because she jumped in. Your date of birth, let me see. Alan says, first of all, he's telling me to tell you you're very psychic. How do you meet your spirit guides and angels? It's very easy. Just do any meditate. He's saying just do any meditation that you are drawn to do. Use it as an opportunity to just focus and center and just ask to connect with them. Okay, he's also saying for you, and some other people can try this too if it resonates with them. He says, ask in dream time for communication from them. Okay. And you will have a dream at some point that you will sense, or maybe you will just know, like, that's my guides, right? He says, lean into it that way first. But yeah, you could do a meditation and just ask to connect with them, ask to feel them around you. That's what I'm getting, to feel their presence around you more. Understand this, though. This is important. Guides are not fairy godmothers sent to us to grant us our wishes. Neither are they here to tell us what to do. The operative word is guide. Guide us in terms of what we have planned for our life. And usually, almost most of the time, really, I should say, they're guiding us through impulses they're sending us, not through loud messages like, right, like, "Hey, Lori, this is what you need to do." Spirit doesn't work like that. Rarely works like that. Only if there's no other option but to interject that way because they want you to live a life that's more flowing and ease, right? And not like jarring where some voices like yelling at you. So only if it's really necessary to get your attention. And even then, when they talk to you that way, it's not going to tell you what to do. It's just giving you information. A lot of times they're communicating to you already through your imagination, giving you insight, ideas, messages, something like that. Again, because they don't communicate like a person walking in a room saying, "Hey, I got something to tell you." Now, I know many of you are going to say, "But I'd rather have it that way than I know it's them." No, sorry, that's not how it's set up to be, because then guess what? You're not using your imagination, are you? You're just sitting there saying, "I'm waiting for them to walk in the door." I don't mean literally, but you know what I mean. I'm waiting for them to just come in and just tell me. And then you're never going to develop your intuition. You're never going to trust your imagination because you're thinking to yourself or expecting that it comes in a very direct way that is unmistakable, like a voice outside of you going blah 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 blah. That is exactly why they're not going to do it. Now Lori says, I'm trying to distinguish between my husband and my guides. Right, so lean into that. Do a meditation, ask to connect with your husband. Say, I want to feel your energy. Notice how that feels like. Do another one, invite your guides in and say, I just want to feel your energy. Notice what that feels like. This may take practice for you to tell. But remember, what you have to ask, I want to kind of point out, what is the reason people want to connect with their guides? Right? They usually want communication. And I get it. And you can have that. But understand this, they've always been guiding you, and they're guiding you right this minute. They're always there. They're always trying to guide you. So first, notice the subtle guidance is already present. This, again, what drops into your imagination, ideas, thoughts, visions, whatever. Start to expect that you'll be able to tell the difference. It begins with that. Believe that you can tell the difference. With a loved one on the other side, usually you're going to it can be, not always, be multisensory, where you feel like you feel their presence on some level, and you maybe feel their love with you. Right now, it's going to change, depend on the person, because some of you I know are emotionally blocked, but you can feel their presence, feel their love, and lean into that. A lot of times our loved ones, especially when it's partner, they're, let's just say, jumping to the head of the line, and they're not, in some cases, letting a guide come through just yet. So I wouldn't worry about it. For most of you, it's a big accomplishment that you just start recognizing that you're even talking to any spirit, let alone, well, who is it? What is it? First, start getting comfortable with just perceiving someone, anyone in spirit. Also, when it comes to guides, they're going to start bringing up, because they're high frequency, to some extent your loved one too, but with guides, some guides, because they have a high frequency, you're going to have issues come up, fears come up, because that's what that energy, high vibe energy, does. It brings up what doesn't match it. So you might find that you have some fear beliefs come up that need to be cleared. It's not like we just connect with guides and now, oh, we've got perfect communication, totally clear. No, there's usually a process that is initiated where things start being brought to our attention that we need to let go of. So Lori says, I've been recalling early childhood experiences since I've been following you. Right. So there may be experiences that you need to clear, that you need to shift, that you need to reframe, right? Like rewrite, like if it was a negative experience. That's what your guides often initiate, because you're connecting with high frequency. That's really very normal. I hope that helped. I'm gonna drop back into CE now, who just dropped in their question. Curious if electro disturbances are them. Oh yeah, pretty much electro disturbances are them. Let's put it this way. Some electrical thing happens and you immediately comes into your mind. I wonder, like for me, maybe, I wonder if that's Ellen. It probably means that's Ellen. Okay. It's very, very, very easy for them to create electrical disruption because they're energy beings. That's one of the easiest ways for them to give you a sign, make the lights flicker, make your phone turn on or off, the TV turn on or off, leave messages on your phone, sometimes actual messages, sometimes just that there's like a message, but there's no voice right on it. That is super, super easy. Electrical things. Okay, also animals, right? Like birds and animals too, because they're very cooperative. Birds especially, so they can do that. That makes sense. Kathy, okay, we don't always do mediumship here, but let me just tune in. Okay, I'm just going to give you what I heard. I asked from your Michael. He says, "Are you? Because are you? Have you been worrying?" Because he's saying to me, "Stop worrying, please. Stop worrying, and I can come through more clearly." Tell me if that makes sense to you. That's just what he's giving me. Okay, stop worrying. I'm always with you. I've always got your back. I'm never leaving you. So it's kind of like the feeling I'm getting from is like, cut it out. And lovingly, okay, not like angry or anything. Like cut it out. Stop worrying. Start trusting. Start believing. Okay, now he's giving me that song, like don't stop believing. I don't know if that song has meaning for you, but he's saying like stop worrying. It's all going to work out. It'll work out if you say that. If you hold that thought, it's going to work out. So let me know if that makes sense to you. Tiffany, what would be my next best step to open up my extrasensory abilities to deepen my connection with Justin? What I'm hearing, and this is not from Justin, I think this is from a guide, is notice the connection you already have. Okay. Even if it feels subtle to you. Okay. Because the next step comes from you following your excitement and affirming and appreciating whatever contact you have, even if you think it's just minuscule. Okay, whatever it is. Look at the camera pulling back like that. Tell me what experience you are having, because it comes by, we always think there's something I need to do that I'm not doing that would improve things. Okay. It really is about following your excitement, following what you're drawn to do, not just do this, do that. Like, again, spirit doesn't work like that, because then we're setting ourselves up to say, I need somebody like me or somebody else to tell me what to do. And they don't want that for us. They want us to live intuitively, where we know what we need to do in the moment. We just feel it. We're drawn to it. I feel like the impulse comes. Okay. Because that ultimately is how you want to live in fourth density. Because even if I or somebody else could tell you, well, this is what you need to do, now you think, like if you went for it and did it, you go, okay, well, I need to go back and ask Pam again what I need to do next. Do you see how that is like a trap? And that will only work if you want to stay in third density. Because if you're going to rise to fourth density, it's about living intuitively, following your passion, knowing you're always guided in every moment, not a moment sooner, as to what to do. And so tomorrow at a certain moment, there may be something that would deepen your connection, but you will know it in that moment. And again, not a moment sooner. But like most people in a body, you think there must be something that I could do that would get me there faster. And that's not, Spirit's saying that's not usually the case. Your life is unfolding synchronistically. It's always been that way. You just didn't know it. And so you cannot get the next step until you're actually ready in that moment to take the next step. Right? So if we were able to really talk to you fully, I'd say, like, what kind of contact are you having? You can drop that in here. I'm scrolling down. Okay, Kathy said makes sense. Is he bumping into my bed? Oh yeah, he's doing that. He's doing all kinds of things, Kathy. Does that make sense? Okay. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm scrolling through your questions and trying to not lose track of people who I'm talking to. Okay. 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 With Lori, one last thing I'll just say that for you is what I'm hearing is just trust those experiences, trust So here's what I suggest for you and anybody. When you're having some sort of experience happening and you go, who is this, my husband or my guide? Ask the question. The universe is interactive. So say, is this you? So for me, I would say, is this you, Alan? And I would trust the next thing that came to me. And I might know right away, oh yeah, that's him, right? I'll just get a yes or a feeling. I could get a feeling come over me. That would be another yes, right? And if I didn't get that was him, then I could say, okay, is this a guide? And feel what I feel with that. That, you see how that, when we teach you that empowers you and helps you become more intuitive, because you realize I can ask the universe and it will tell me. I can ask my partner, they will tell me. I can ask my guide, they will tell me. They will tell you. Okay. If you believe, they will tell you. I promise you, they will tell you. Just trust the next thing that you sense, feel, hear, smell, see, and go, okay, that's from them. Okay. And just keep practicing it. Even if initially you're not sure, just keep practicing it. And then you will develop confidence in that. So let me get back to, sorry, Tiffany, get me back to your asking about deepening your connection. I think you commented, okay, you can feel him touch you sometimes as tingles. You talk psychically. It's very subtle. Okay. Just affirm and appreciate what you're having. And just because, okay, here is where many people start to get in their own way. They have some sort of contact that they go, wow, this is great. I feel good about it, right? You feel encouraged by it. And then the logical mind, this is where your physical mind goes, okay, well, what else can I do? Right? Because the physical mind is insatiable. It's never happy with what you already have. It isn't. It's wired to look for what else can I do, right? It's never going to rest on its laurels. It just isn't. And so you got to get past that and understand that the way to manifest what you desire is to just get happy with what's already happening and celebrating it, just milking it for all it's worth, right? Just going, this is so great. And I know more is on its way, and just trusting it instead of letting the physical mind goes, okay, what else can we do? Because the minute you do that, the minute you start asking those kind of questions, what else can I do? What else do I need? You're coming from lack, and you're not in the moment, because now you're in the future. You're trying to project to the future, right? What else can I do in the future? And so you're now kind of backing away from it. You're not putting all of your energy into what you already have because you don't trust that if I just celebrate what I have, it's just going to grow and become more. This is wonderful and more is on its way. I love this and I know tomorrow's going to be even better. And whatever it is tomorrow, celebrate it, even if it's you didn't move the needle, it doesn't matter. Just be happy with what you have. That is the lazy person's way to manifest their heart's desire is to just get happy for no reason and be happy with what you have. I promise you, it'll all work out. The fastest way to get what you desire is to be happy with what you already have because the universe then has to give you more to be happy about, more that matches that. Remember, change is built into the system. Evolution is part of the system, part of existence, not devolution, evolution. When you get happy about whatever's going on, even if what's going on isn't ideal to you, isn't what you prefer, and you say, I still love my life, I'm appreciate this thing that happened and that thing that happened, and yes, I've got contact and I know more is coming, and you hold that state, you are on the fast track. The only way you are going to derail yourself or delay the manifestation you seek is you start worrying about it, saying, what else can I do? I must be doing something wrong. This isn't enough. Oh, maybe I can't do this. Maybe everybody else can do it, but not me. That's when you stall yourself. That's when you just stop dead in your tracks. You're not going backward, but you're not in the flow now. You're in resistance. Because we mean it when we say the easiest way to manifest is just get happy for no reason. This is what I tend to do now more often than not. And the minute I'm not in that happy for a reason mode, I kind of go back to that guy. Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm trying to be happy for no reason. And then I feel better. And then I lift up. Okay. That is truly, seriously, the fastest, highest way to manifest. Find any excuse to get happy. Understand that when you do that, you're going with the flow of your life. And that means the universe is behind you. The universe is supporting you. The universe is bringing everything that you have put out there that you say you want. Okay. It's doing its best. And you're not blocking it when you do that. You're not. When you're just happy for no other reason than that you exist, your arms are wide open. You're not blocking anything. You're going, okay, bring it on. Okay, the minute you start worrying about it, you kind of close it down. You're closing the door, you're pinching off your connection. Okay, all of you can have contact through the veil without exception, right? It's just a question of looking at any limiting beliefs you have, letting them go, understanding that if even one person can experience something, manifest something, so can you. If that's part of your path, your plan, and if you're listening to us, it more than likely is, or you wouldn't have found your way to us. Okay. So I'm going to just answer one more question, then we're going to have to get off here. Okay, Amy says, I feel like my husband is always with me. He hated when I went to the store even. Is this possible? Or am I cuckoo? You mean like he wouldn't have normally wanted to go to the store with you? Now, well, now it doesn't matter if that's what you're concerned about. Yeah, he's always with you. He's Your loved ones are always with you, guys. Like, where else is there for them to be? Especially if it's a partner. Okay, to some degree, also siblings, parents, children, etc. Right? But partners, it's a different category. I'm not saying it's superior. I'm just saying it's different because with partners, some partners were literally always doing everything together, right? But that wouldn't really be considered necessarily healthy or normal for a parent to always be with a child, an adult child, or a sibling, or you understand what I mean, right? So, but with partners, yeah, some partners, they're kind of glued at the hip. Not all of them, obviously, but some of them. So that's not inappropriate. So, yeah, they can always be with us. And even when it's not a partner, let's say it was a child or a parent, and they're concerned about us, yeah, they can be hanging around all the time for some reason they feel they're needed. Okay. It depends on what's appropriate for us. Okay. So, yeah, they can be with you all the time. Alan's with me all the time. I know because I can feel him all the time. And I had to work up to being able to discern that, really feel that. And and in closing, I just want to say a great Lori just said, I've been in gamma state lately after your meditation. Right. Our intention with our meditation is to take you to gamma and keep you in that state. That's a channeling state. It's a high brain state. And it's easy to connect with them when you're in gamma, to channel them. So, but lastly, what I want to say is that, there really is no reason to worry about not connecting with them. Okay. I want you to stop worrying and fretting about your relationship and is it going well and are you making contact, or now it's quiet, they're quiet, is something gone wrong? Nothing has gone wrong. They know that you need to live your 3D life. Quite often they know what we need better than we know. Okay. So I want you to assume that they know what's best for you. And sometimes they have to back off because you need to figure something out on your own, or you need to develop faith, or you just need to have some space for whatever reason, because they see the bigger picture of your life. Not all of them, okay, but many of them, especially if you're in our academy, because Alan says he tells them, he says, hey, dude, this is the plan of your life. So they may know that they can't come in and rescue you all the time because you need to get strong in yourself. But never, ever doubt that they don't love you, that they've moved on, that they've gone somewhere. No, they know that you need to work through some things, okay? Because you're not here to live for them. Yes, they know you're grieving their loss. And so they come in initially like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here to reassure you, I'm not going anywhere. I'm always going to be here. But that doesn't mean they're always going to be right up there in front of your face, right? Like I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Like Alan can do that to me sometimes. And I tell him to go get lost because it's driving me a little bit crazy. Because you have to be living for you, right? So they know that, and they don't want to interfere in your soul's plan. So I would rather you assume, because Alan's saying it's 99% of the time true, that they are aware of your soul plan and they're doing their best to support you in that plan. And sometimes, because of your soul plan, they need you to learn to develop your own strength, your own inner strength, okay, and not be so dependent on them. And here's the paradox: the minute that you become fully independent, where you don't need anybody, whether in a body or on the other side, to complete you, because you don't, because you're complete, you know that I'm complete already. The minute you get that, you can have it all. You can have full access to them, because now they go, okay, she doesn't really need me. Now I can be here more fully. But before I couldn't, because she's too codependent or he's codependent. And that's not healthy. Everybody's different. Everyone's relationship is different. Everyone's soul path is different. Okay. So that's how it is. But never, ever think that they don't care anymore, that they've moved on, that they don't love you. Once you love someone, that is eternal. He says they don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. They love you because they're created from love just as you are. And so don't think because they don't have a choice, it means like their love is less. you're equating, human love, like possessive love. You're thinking that that's the ultimate when that is not love, actually. Love that's possessive, that's conditional, is not actually love. It is a form of love. It's a very base form of love, but it's not the love that they have for you. Unconditional love is what they have for you, and that is what they're calling you to love yourself unconditionally, and then see yourself as this powerful being that you are, that is complete and whole without them, and then you can have it all with them. That's the paradox. Once you're complete, you have it all. Until you are, then you're going to work through that limiting belief, right? And they can only come through so much, because your lack of wholeness in yourself, you're choosing to believe that you're not complete, is going to actually make it more difficult for them. See the paradox there? You have it all when you know you are already the all. Okay. So I hope that helps you. All right. Let us know if you have any comments, you guys, that we just read for. Just leave them in the comment section below. We'd appreciate it that you do comment below if you like this video and you want to have us do more readings. Then you want that, then comment. Because if we don't see comments, then we probably won't do readings as much, because we are going to go by that. So if you would like us to do more readings, comment below, not just in the live chat. Comment below, share the video if you like, or like it for sure, but we'd love to see your comments. That's how we know that you enjoyed that. All right, so until next time. God, we went way over. Take care. All right, we'll talk to you next week, Wednesday. Bye-bye.